welcome back to another 1/6 scale figure review. Today we have a third party figure, which is pretty rare for me, but I usually buy third party stuff just to add on to my official stuff, and this one today is the Present Toys Flight Officer, I think it's called, which is obviously Alan Ripley from the Alien sequel Aliens. And for people who aren't familiar, I'm not the biggest fan of third-party knockoff type figures, especially when they do recasts or, stingy stuff like that. But from what I've seen here, this looks like it's all original parts in regards to the head sculpt, the tailoring, the clothing and all that. The boots are really, really good too. They look like original molds. So when third party do stuff like that and do all original craftsmanship, I tend to give them a bit more praise. Present Toys usually do their own sculpts. Again, I'm not familiar that much with owning third party stuff. The only one from Present Toys that I know of is the Blade from the second movie that just came out recently. I've done a comparison to that guy with the Hot Toys one. Unfortunately, I did want to do it with Ripley here, but I have since packed both of my customs up because I want to send them out to get them customized. But I do have a body that I'm contemplating now which one to get and use as my main Ripley sculpt, pretty much. And obviously we got the Xenomorph drone here from Hot Toys. Such an amazing, amazing piece, this one. Slept on it for a while, but glad it's finally in my collection. And maybe one more to just go with the Aliens theme. So what I'm going to do now is do a bit more of a deep dive zoom in on just Ripley herself. Show off the head sculpt. Like I said before, I don't have the full Hot Toys figure on me now, but I do have the head sculpts that I can show you. And I do have the original clothing, not the original Hot Toys body, just because that thing's ancient and it just crumbled. And yeah, before we get into it, I do want to say I'm finally glad that we actually are getting some unique characters that aren't from a comic book movie, or a comic book style figure, I'm glad that we're getting different stuff. And if third party are the ones that are going to do it, I'm all for that. And, I do love my comic book movies, but I also love sci-fi and horror and all that, so I'm glad that other companies are now hopping on it instead of even the official ones. And like I've said before in different videos, there's only 2 characters that I would go all out when it comes to spending big bucks for customizing it, and it's, Ripley here and Heath Ledger Joker. And we're about to find out and see if this is worthy to chuck on and kind of kit bash, take parts from this one, and see if I can build the ultimate Ripley. So if you guys do enjoy this, make sure you like and sub, and we'll get right into it. So I've got the figure here in a default pose, and I thought just to make it easier so people don't get too confused, this is pretty much what she comes with. So the shitload of alien eggs that were shown before are just random custom pieces that I've had for a while. So in the stock version of the Present Toys one, you only get the one there, which is still really good. It's a little bit lightweight and not as detailed as the other ones, but it does get the point across. And obviously you get the pulse rifle, you get the flamethrower as well. It's just that I didn't want to take that out. So I'll go up to the head sculpt, and I think it's relatively decent. It looks like it is a little bit of a retooling compared to the Hot Toys one. Yeah, it looks like it's a slightly lesser detail version of that, and I'll pop that up later on and do a side-by-side comparison of the head sculpts. The 79 version, for people that are unaware, not the original MMS one, which was pretty rough for 2008. Which is wild that that's last time we got this character from Hot Toys, from this movie. So what the main selling point is of this figure is the seamless body, and they've marketed this as medical grade silicone, which apparently is unbreakable, which I simply don't believe that. I had this arm bent for at least a week, and you can see there's a little bit of a line there. I want to see if that kind of pops out during the review. But yeah, rubber seamless bodies is just not for me. I prefer seamless plastic or just jointed. You know, I'm fine with biting the bullet and sacrificing realism to put a decent pose instead of this. You know, that's also another reason why I didn't get Bane. It's like, from Hot Toys, is they got the same gimmick of the medical silicone that is so-called indestructible, but it is going to tear. It's rubber. And I didn't want to have Bane posed like this. I wanted him a bit more posed up, so I didn't get him. So the replacement body that I was going with was the World Box female body, which is pretty much brand new. I think it's the AT203. AT203, I think it is. And recently, I think a couple of days ago, World Box have put up their seamless wrist joint to elbow joint for pre-order. So pretty much that section is going to be a full seamless arm. Pretty much like my Myers up there, which I did a review on. That's a World Box body as well. So I'm completely fine with having this part jointed for my custom and just having it hidden in a bent pose. And you're no longer going to have that wrist peg problem because it's all going to be seamless. So there are some positives with this, as it does look more real, but lasting and longevity wise, it's just never going to happen. So just for a reference, this is the World Box body that I was going for. And like I said, it is jointed, but the new pre-orders now, World Box have added a seamless portion here. So if you bend the arm, it's going to pretty much be hidden from this point on. It would all be a seamless arm with a hand as one sculpt. But you can see the main reason I went for the World Box body is the skin texturing and the skin color. You know, Sigourney is a pretty pale person, so I wanted to emulate that as much as I could on the figure format. And this is the Hot Toys original MMS 50 or 60 shirt and pants, which were weathered by myself. And you can see just how much of a difference and advancement figures have gone. You know, this is very puffy, very thick material. Same with this shirt. And you can see the Present Toys one is much better for scale. But for accuracy, I think that's a different story, because there are positives and negatives with both. The main one, and it was a standout for me, is the pocket on her left leg. Our right, her left, yeah. So this zipper portion should be switched to up and down instead of left and right. And Present Toys done that correctly. So it should be a different pocket mix match like this. Hot Toys didn't get that right. Another one that Hot Toys actually did get right is the belt portion here and the sash with the looplets, ringlets, and the belt going through. Present Toys unfortunately haven't done that. It's just a regular Velcro clamp, which is a shame because Present Toys probably would have automatically won in my eyes if they did that. It's a shame, but I still think overall the Present Toys one looks more realistic just because it's modern tailored. So going down to where the pants tuck into the boots, the Hot Toys one does not have a zipper portion here, while the Present Toys accurately does. So again, that's a really good thing that Present Toys have done. I think overall, Present Toys have ticked more checkboxes than the original Hot Toys one. And yeah, just looking at the colouring, I do think the Present Toys one is much more better colour-wise. This is a bit too bright, which Present Toys actually did change. Their original prototype was, I think, very dark navy blue. So very happy that they did change it. Something I do find a bit disappointing though is the boots. Not overall. I think overall they did alright. I think the main problem, and I'll get the old Hot Toys one out the way. The main problem I have is the Ripley name. So you see on this boot here, it has Ripley here and there. And it's decently painted, it's weathered pretty well. But then you go to this one here and it's inverted. It's a backwards sculpt. So that's not Ripley, that starts with a Y there. And that's backwards as well. So that's a huge disappointment. And it's not like you can rub this out and name and reword it yourself with paint because that's sculpted in. I don't know why they would have done this. Because for me, this was the main reason that I initially wanted this, because the Hot Toys boots were so bad. I saw the pre-order for this and I thought, do I just get this figure for the boots? And the answer was yes. And then as the pre-order and as the wait time went, Present Toys were updating. And I thought, oh, okay, maybe I could use the pants, the top and all that and so forth. But the boots were the initial reason. And to have this sloppily done is a big disappointment. If I was to guess why, because Present Toys recently did the Batman drifter suit and that looked flawless. I think popularity is probably the main reason, and it's probably also why Hot Toys have stopped making these types of characters, just because they're not popular enough. I feel the pre-orders probably weren't that good with this character, so they decided, well, who cares, let's just reverse the mold. Huge disappointment, but it is slightly better than the Hot Toys ones. Speaking of Hot Toys, what we're going to do now is pan back up to the head sculpt and bring the 1979 Aliens Ripley and compare those head sculpts. So we've got the Present Toys head sculpt here, and right now we have coming into frame the Hot Toys version. I do believe it's a slight tweaked version of this. It's not 100% a recast. There is a bit difference in the skin texturing and the mold detail, and obviously the hair. So there is differences. I do think overall the Hot Toys one wins with likeness, and yes, I think the skin texturing is a bit too tan for Sigourney Weaver, but I do think it is better detailed than the Present Toys. But if you were unfortunate to not pick this one up, And trust me, I've seen the prices of this one. It's skyrocketed pretty big. I do think this one is a decent stand-in until Hot Toys make a 2.0 of Ripley from either movie, or a base model to kit bash or do custom work, because I do think a repaint might do this better justice. But yeah, I love this 79 Ripley. I really would hope they do an artisan with rolly eyes and actual rooted hair. But again, like I said before, the popularity, I don't know how high demand this is. And even with their Romulus Scorched Xenomorph, it seems that even that may not be popular enough. That's a brand new movie, and it seems like Hot Toys have kind of pulled the brakes on that, which is, again, pretty disappointing. So just before I wrap up, I thought I would talk about the present toys and some of the inaccuracies that they've done. I think the major one, as you can see, is the bullet casings. The bullets themselves are not accurate to the movie. They're a bit too chunky, and the red and silver padding is completely different. The Hot Toys one, again, 2008 Hot Toys we're talking about here, done 100% accuracy with that, and I don't know, it's weird. The amount of times present toys emulates and copies Hot Toys, it seems when they miss hugely. It's like, obviously they're trying to redefine the original MMS one with the 79 head sculpt. Why wouldn't you just 100% copy and paste that? Even with the pants and the looplets and all that. I don't know. If you're going to go all out and completely copy, just 100% do it. And I was led to believe that present toys like to do a lot of die cast. It would have been nice to have the die cast bullets, because the blade stuff were die cast, the steak knives. So I thought, maybe they would roll that over for this, but they clearly haven't. And just before I cut away to my final thoughts, I want to do an update check on the arm, and you can still see there's a bit of a line there. So that indestructible medical grade silicone, again, is a bit of a buzzword. It's not really indestructible if it's leaving creases. So just my final thoughts on the present toys flight officer. Obviously, Alan Ripley from the second Alien movie, Aliens. I think it is a decent figure. It's okay. It's not the best. Doing simple poses like this feels very janky. The body feels a bit weird. Feels like it's going to crumble any second, so that's why I've kind of held off with ultra posing it, pretty much. But my sole purpose of getting this was to steal parts and create a better version of this. And I do think overall it is worth it if you're solely going to do that. I, however, can't say definitively if this is worth as is and displaying it solely like this. But yeah, I don't know if I said that and articulated that well. I think it's good to take parts to customize and kit bash a better version, but to have this as stock and have it up on your shelf, I don't personally think it's worth, in my honest opinion. Especially considering Hot Toys gave us an amazing offering with the 79 version. But yeah, as negative as that might sound, I can't wait to take this and build a better one with the parts that this gives us, pretty much. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you like and sub. And I'll see you in the next one.